Okay, so yesterday in the market we had our fourth large down day in 6 trading days. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 here. We started the day up at 262 and change, peaked out above 263. The speed of this down move, the size of these red bars in the 30-minute was impressive in the first 90 minutes. It took us right through last week's support area. On Tuesday and Wednesday, we saw support around 269.
Chrysler reporting March U.S. auto sales.
In the prior Friday, we had bottomed out in front of 258. So we sliced right through those. After the biggest bar of the morning with this one kind of threw me a little bit. But after that one, we did bounce back up to the 258 before failing again and having the final down leg. The final down leg took us to below 255, which was $10 on the SPYs, below Thursday afternoon's high. So that's primarily why I was looking for some sort of bounce here. There's no real level. It was just the size, the magnitude of the move was so large. We did at the end of the day bounce up to kind of 57.60 to 258 right here. Went out short a little bit against my longs from the prior week. As we've moved closer to 259, fully hedged off, actually slightly short now. If you factor in both my long individual stocks versus my SPY short up into this area here. So from a big picture perspective, the sellers are still in control. Here's the downtrend. You certainly can make the argument there's some more upside here if people wanted to kind of squeeze things up, maybe another $2 from where we are right now. But we're also on the flip side, $4 and change above yesterday's low. And until this changes, until this downtrend changes where we have a big enough move, some sideways action where we're holding above 260 and then a break and a close to the upside, maybe above 265, we have to look for failures on the bounces. So this morning, you can kind of see we peaked out here in front of 259, very small pullback to 70 cents. Now we're failing at 259. The way to judge this morning is, do we sell off from in this area here, and do we come into 258 and actually hold it, kind of like we did the prior week, and get back above 259, or do we actually just slice right through? If we slice right through 258 and start holding below, then your focus should really be aggressively on the short side with momentum. VXX, this was a little bit of a disappointment to me. I don't know if you heard me. Actually, I wasn't talking about it. I was G-chatting one of my traders yesterday. After we peaked out here at 53.80, I did put a script to short it at 79 cents. So this will happen a lot of times, just to give you an idea of this trade that I like. The market is selling off, it goes up a lot, has this pullback, then it has a second leg, has a new high, and then you get this pullback. Once I get this pullback here, I try to re-short into the high, give it about 30 cents above the high, and maybe you can catch a double top and a reversal down to kind of here, these areas. But in this case, it got up to my script, but it didn't quite fire, so I missed this $2 down move. This morning, we're coming down into an area where I'm actually have a script to buy into a flush to 50. Excuse me for a sec. Tesla reports, production totals. So Tesla just reported their production totals.
Largely in line with the prior quarter. The production numbers have shown some improvement for Tesla.
Okay, already right back down. Tesla reminds me of Facebook a couple of weeks ago, actually, when Facebook it looked like it bottomed, and then it went through the low and started to stabilize, and then so basically you have it like now 250 to let's say 53. This area here, people or buyers going to continue to protect this area. It was down there a little bit earlier in the pre-market. But the easy money in terms of the short, the break of the 300, and then the down move this day here. I think the easy money is done on the short, at least until it gets in the mid 260s. This area here is resistance. Okay, getting back to VIX, I did put in a script for a flush to 50 on the open. I wouldn't become more bearish on it until it's a couple of 49.50 and then fail to get back above $50, then I would look for a bigger pull-in. IWM. So this bad print here is screwing up the charts right now. So it's having trouble zooming in. So let's say 148.25 by 148.50 is a spot to look at. It starts coming in here. I'm not convinced it can get back down to yesterday's low. So this area where it initially bounced from, it held here a little bit and had this final down leg. You can see it had trouble getting above it into the close, and eventually got back above it. This band right here, and then you'd start to become more constructive if it got above this 149.70 to 150 area. Also, a pop there on the open should be shortable into this. Above 150.50 though, I would give up on the short idea. All right, so as I said, not a lot of news flow. We do have this stock here, SWCH, which already had a big bounce. Things were in line, revenues were in line, guidance was in line. I'm not sure why it was down here at the low in the pre-market. It's already bounced. Maybe that's the final whoosh. I normally only trade 750,000 shares. It's done about 55K in the pre-market. So here's the initial reaction where they went down to 12. They popped it back up to 14.5. This is the spot I'm looking at right here. I put on the sheet, 1350. And this is the spot, 1350 to 1360 for a move back up to $15. I'm going to be a little bit careful. It's a little bit of a thin stock. Spotify is doing their direct listing on the New York Stock Exchange today. They came out with an initial indication of 132. I have no idea how they came up with that price. This is not a normal IPO where there's an underwriter and they're giving shares to institutions at some set price. They're literally just direct listing on the New York Stock Exchange and hoping for the best. I see Guggenheim Partners already came out with a price target of 175. We will be trading it on the desk. I imagine it's going to be extremely risky. We'll see what the order flow looks like initially. But I think on something like this, initial bias will be strongly on the long side. And then we'll see. I haven't even tried to locate shares yet for short. But certainly this is definitely worth looking at. I just want to punch up Tesla again, see what it's up to. So they're selling at this 262 here. You can see it spiked back up. Sellers are starting to take control of it. You have 258. Seems to me like this 258 can be used probably as an inflection on the open. Did SPY and VIX, did this. ALKS ended up not doing much yesterday. I did buy it on the open at 45 something, I think. Right, so I didn't get the print right on the open. I got it on the retest here. And it went up $3. I sold a bunch into this, sold more into this. I don't remember when I got flatted. Maybe I had a trailing stop or something. Eventually, it did take out the morning low. But there was a buyer all afternoon at 44.5, it looks like. So that's something to keep an eye on. And the way I look at this is, you tried to have a bounce here at 11 o'clock. It failed. The rest of the day was accumulated just below 45 in a tight range. So I think if it was consolidating above 46 this morning, it could be constructive on it on the long side, looking for it to test yesterday's resistance. And if it actually took out this buyer here, was a seller stepped in below 44.5, I would look for the downside. And I think I put on the sheet, yeah, below that is 43 is the next kind of support area, 43 to 43.5. So if you're shorting it with a seller stepping down here, it's about $1 to $1.50 of downside. And then obviously, like, you know, stocks like NVDA, you can look at these. They're going to move if the cues in the market and things bounce. They're going to move with that. I'll take a quick look at a couple of these leaders. NVDA certainly up there with Adobe. You may have seen yesterday I had a long-term script fire in Adobe to get me long at a $10 level. I got stopped out below 8.5. I think it's up about $6 from there right now. I'll take a quick look at that as well. So you can see, and this was, what was this? This was the February lows. And then since then, if the buyers have been stepping in around 218 to 220. Let's see where it bottomed yesterday. Yeah, so they stepped in exactly at the same spot yesterday as they were in all the other days. So if, you know, would have made the same play on this one as I did in Adobe, it would have worked into 218 because it held here and closed above 220. I don't know, you know, it'll be interesting to see if the SPYs fail this morning and come off a few dollars. Will you get a retest of this support area in the video, give you an entry again? You'll start to become more constructive on the video, bigger picture, if it gets back above 233 or so. So maybe we'll get some consolidations up closer to 230 for a few days, and a break back above that would bring 248 to 215 to play. And then I will just show you Adobe, where I lost on this yesterday. So I don't remember when I put the 210 script in to buy it. Probably when it was up here in the 220 to 230 area. And it got hit yesterday. My stop was below 208.50, I believe. So I thought I gave it sufficient room. I think I gave it to below this kind of pre-market low or something like that. It's just, you can see why I was buying it. It's just in a big longer term uptrend. The numbers continue to be good. It continues to make new highs. So in these cases, you're just trying to buy these things at longer term support levels. Maybe if the market cracks over the next week or two, it'll actually have an extra down, like kind of where I was able to pick up Boeing 312 the other day on a crush below 320. It seems like there's a good chance I won't get stopped out of that one. But yeah, closer to like 206 on Adobe. Seems like that area there against 200 for move back up to 230 would be a pretty good longer term trade. Let's see where the SPYs are. Okay, so far we failed at 259. That'll be the thing to watch on the open. Do we spike above 259, go up to 20-30 cents, fail, and get back, let's say, below 258.5? Look for that downside.
Hope you enjoyed that video. You can actually watch that video if you're subscribed to our Trader 90 before the market even opens. What stocks are in play? What levels in those stocks are important? and how we might go about attacking that stock. That's Steve Spencer, 20-year veteran trader, laying it out there every morning before the market even opens. A really, really powerful tool to start your session off on the right foot. So right now we're offering a trial that you can take advantage of to access this meeting and other meetings throughout the day. We have a meeting at 11 a.m. Eastern where you can sit down with Mike Bellafiore and listen to him talk about what's going on during the morning session, what stocks were in play, what the best trade opportunities were, as well as maybe some things that we're looking at heading into the afternoon session. So I really encourage you to take advantage of that trial.